Hello and welcome. My name is Bashir Fadon, and I'd like to talk this episode about how to get on YouTube or how to start a channel. Well, from personal experience, I've been in IT for a very long time, and I've had a lot of friends that would come up and say, well, I have a business and I'm trying to promote something online. Or maybe it's a place of worship that's trying to put a message out there. Maybe it's a nonprofit organization. And a lot of times it's parents who just are sending their kids to high school and everything else ready for them to go to college. And the kid says, Dad, Mom, I want to be a YouTuber. And they're looking at them like, what the heck is a YouTuber? So today we want to answer those questions. I'm going to focus on about 14 and 15 points. But basically those points are what's going to allow us to be a YouTuber, whether it's for you, whether it's for your, where you work, your business, your place of worship, a message from a nonprofit organization you're sending. Maybe your kid is interested in something and you want to support them through their message, or at least understand better what it is. Maybe it's a job that you want to do if you're already in marketing and sales and so on. But first and foremost, we want to know that it's a fun experience that you guys are going to enjoy. I highly recommend you creating your YouTube channel. And some of what we're going to talk about today is going to make that catalyst for you to really pick up a lot of followers and be able to spread whatever that message that you have. First and foremost, the most important thing is to identify who the key players are. When I want to go into YouTube and create my own channel and put my own material out there, there's what we call the key players. Number one, there's YouTube. Think about YouTube as an employer. It's a fun thing, so it's not a job at 8 to 5, but they are an employer. In other words, they have their own rules and regulations and ways of payment and everything else. So there's a setup that I need to be aware of and respect their rules, as we'll talk about that. Secondly, that I'm an employee. So I'm expected to be present, to have a message out there and present it. But then thirdly, there's also a customer. There's someone that's going to consume that information that I'm putting out about a product, about a service, or any just general information that I'm communicating. The customer has a demand. As such, I'm providing a service. Maybe it's a product or information that I'm putting out there. But one thing that's very important, as we talk about key players, one thing that's very important for me in my channel is my style and my presentation. And again, this differs between one person and another. If I'm sitting watching, maybe I have some irregular heartbeats and I think I might be coming with a heart attack, and I go on YouTube and I'm watching something about, a cardiologist, and I find someone that is just, wearing shorts and a t-shirt and stuff like that, I'm not sure if I'm going to watch that style. Again, maybe I'm stereotypical, but I'm just trying to throw a simple example out there. Or maybe I want to learn how to surf. I want to go surfing and I see someone dressed up in a tie and a suit. I don't think I'm going to be watching that video. I have an image of what that normally is. So always, as you're preparing your videos, as you're preparing your channel, think of the key players, your employer, which is Google, YouTube, that kind of has different rules and regulations that govern our transactions with them. We, the provider, the specialist, and then the customer and the demands that the customer has. Now, point number two, and this is very important, is define what success means to you. When I say I have a successful YouTube channel, what does that mean? Well, for example, if I'm part of a religious organization, maybe it's a temple, maybe it's a synagogue, maybe it's a church, maybe it's an Islamic center, and we're trying to connect with our followers and send a message and prayer and so on, maybe having 200 or 300 followers that are regularly listening to our live feeds and so on is what our goal and purpose is. Maybe I'm part of a nonprofit organization that's spreading awareness about vaccinations and other things, and we're hoping for people in this area to come in here. We're looking for a maximum of about 500 to 1,000 followers within that area. So success means that strictly to us. But maybe I'm working and I'm trying to provide a certain or sell a certain product or promote a certain service. In cases like these, I'm looking success to me is to have 500,000 followers and have 40,000 hours of what people have listened to in the last few months. So everybody, as you're moving into it, kind of draw a picture of what does success means to you in terms of followers, in terms of hours, in terms of videos and how much they watch of it and so on. That's very important and key as we start. Now we move to point number three, which is start before you're ready. Start messy, then that's okay. And what does that mean? It means there's something called paralysis by analysis. Sometimes we sit and analyze something and think it and overthink it. I have a great talent of maybe cooking. I have a great talent of a certain diet that I'd like to promote or a workout, or maybe I'd like to teach people a computer class, or maybe, whatever I have. Sometimes we sit and design it and think it and overthink it. And 6 months down the road, I still haven't started my channel. So start messy. have an idea of what you'd like to do, draw a couple of what your first couple of videos are going to be. Don't worry about the quality of the camera. Just go into youtube.com, create your channel, create your playlist, add a video or two, have a couple of family members and friends join it, and you have started. And the more you start and the more subscribers you have, the more you're going to grow and you're going to get motivated to do more. So never fall for the paralysis by analysis, and always start before you're ready. Start a little bit messy, and trust me, with time, you're going to make great videos. Material and money. Assess your equipment. What does that mean? Again, if I'm doing something for a smaller community, a few friends and so on, maybe it's a professor that has about 60 or 70 students and they'd like to share their lessons with them, simply just putting it out on YouTube. Again, in that case, a camera that has certain dimensions is good enough for me, versus someone that's trying to sell this product to 500,000 followers, or be able to promote something and capture it. Then I'm looking at a lot more expensive products. And again, I'm looking for more followers and a lot more money and promotions and so on. So I really want to start scaling my products and my equipment that I have in terms of recording devices and microphones and the setting that I'm in and everything else. So material and money, make sure that it's comparative to kind of the product or the channel that you're creating and developing. If it's something minor, again, quality is always good, but average quality is good enough for you to get there. But as you're building kind of your subscriber base, and you're building the number of hours, and you're having more promotions and things coming in, you're trying to make more money out of this. In a case like that, again, assess your equipment and make sure that you open up your wallet a little bit more. Number 5, we always want to choose something that we're passionate about. Why? Because it just naturally comes that you're going to do a great job doing it. Again, maybe you're good in science and you want to teach science, or maybe you're good in training and you're a personal trainer and you can create those videos on training, and people it naturally is going to show that you're going to have a drive of regularly and being consistent placing your videos. Maybe you're good in cooking and you want to kind of sell your recipes or show your recipes and share it with the world. Whatever it is, choose something that you're passionate about. That way, your experience is going to show, and people genuinely want to be attracted to following what you're doing. Number 2, generally speaking, since a lot of people are online to make on YouTube to make $1, then make sure that it's also something that's profitable. It's a profitable niche. There's something special about what you're presenting that people are interested in, and that's why they're going to join you. Again, maybe I enjoy typewriters to type a message, or maybe I have an iPhone or an iPad. Again, why do I mention that example? It's because always think of your audience. I'm going to be passionate about typing or sending messages or writing messages, but more than likely, if I talk about typewriters, I'm not going to have a lot of followers. If I talk about iPads and certain kind of laptops and so on, I might have a lot more followers. So make sure that also, as you're passionate about something and as you're making sure it's profitable, that you want to make sure that you're speaking to the right audience. You have an audience base, people that are interested in that subject. Don't use something that is obsolete that nobody uses. Again, today I could talk about Windows 10 and upgrading to Windows 11 versus talking about Windows 95. Chances are, if I talk about Windows 95, I won't have any followers. But if I talk about Windows 10 or upgrading to 11 or any other new features, I might have a lot more followers. So make sure that you choose something you're passionate about, a niche, something that's profitable, and in addition to that, something that people are interested in. And then finally, make sure that you always stay informed about what you're passionate about. Because people don't want to listen to something that's repeated. They want that extra tip, that extra trick, that extra hack, that extra thing that I can do that I want to subscribe to your channel to get from you. So choose something that you're passionate about. Now, point 6 and 7 are kind of similar, but slightly different. And that is, number 6 is to be extremely focused. You want your channel to be extremely focused. You are the specialist. If I go to a Nike store, I'm not going to go to a Nike store to order food. I know that it's going to be something sports related, sports gear related. It's going to be that, that Nike shirt or shoes or running shoes or whatever. It's something athletic. So you want your channel, you want your playlist, you want whatever you're presenting on YouTube to be very focused. You also, on a personal level, want to be very focused. In other words, think about it as exercise. I go to the gym once a month. I spend half an hour, and you go to the gym 4 days a week regularly for half an hour. Chances are you're going to be a lot much healthier, a lot more muscular, and just in much better shape than I am. Why? because you're focused. You're always there. Same thing with your YouTube channel. Again, you want to stay very focused in the sense that your schedule is regular, which kind of leads us to the next point, number 7, which I said is kind of similar to 6 in the sense that number 7 is consistency. So number 7, consistency. Why is that important and what does it mean? So before I explain what we mean by consistency, remember that on YouTube, you get paid when number 1, you have 1,000 subscribers. Number 2, when they have watched 4,000 public hours within 12 rolling months. So I have to have 1,000 subscribers that have watched 4,000 hours of my content on my YouTube channel within the last 12 months. So it's a rolling 12 month. So consistency is important in the sense that every day, for example, on Tuesdays at 5 p.m., I'm going to have a new video on this subject. That way, I'll get more people that are interested to come and watch my live feed or watch the videos that I'm posting, or 2 days a week or a daily basis. But when you're consistent about I'm delivering at a certain time, usually people that enjoy that subject are going to come there. They're going to share the links with other people, and you're going to have a lot more subscribers. So consistency in terms of having material at a certain time, at a certain date, you're more likely to have a lot more followers and a lot more subscribers joining. Just kind of like good old TV, when you know that on this channel at this time, I'm going to watch my favorite show, and you can't wait till Thursday at 8 o'clock to watch your favorite show on NBC, for instance. Similarly, consistency on your channel is going to be the same way. When I know that you're going to present your video on Tuesdays at 4 p.m., then I'm more likely to be there, and I'm going to recommend it to other people, and you're going to get your more subscribers. So consistency in terms of scheduling and allowing people to join. Now, number 8 is called branding. And branding on your channel is very important. So your channel name, when you choose a name, make sure that it's something that is kind of futuristic, that encompasses a lot of what you're going to present. But then the video needs to be niche, needs to be very specific. Just like when I walk into a Nike store, I know it's going to be something athletic, but in each segment of the Nike store, there's going to be something, whether it's running shoes or basketball shoes or this kind of shorts or this kind of shirt and so on. So similarly, your brand, your channel, have that catchy name for what you're going to do. If you're doing something that's health and fitness related, if you're doing something that's diet related, if you're doing something that's computer and IT related, if you're doing something that's architectural, engineering, whatever it is, have that general umbrella, have the channel name be comprehensive. But then within that, your playlist and your videos could be very specific and have that niche to show your skill and talent, so you can absorb a lot more people coming in and so on. There's other things that we'll talk about that will allow you to kind of also catch, because now that you have those videos and they're niche videos, such as the slogans that you use, the taglines that you use, and how to keep optimizing so that your page grows. Number 9 is study the competition. There's a reason someone else out there is doing something that's similar to what you're doing, and there's a reason they're successful. So study it. Find out what is special about them. Why would people subscribe? Why would this person that's selling the same thing that I'm selling or sharing the same knowledge or expertise that I'm doing, why are they able to get, instead of I have 100, they have 1,000. If I have 1,000, why do they have 50,000? What is special about them? What are they doing? And try and study the competition, look into them. That's number 1. But also, as you're studying the competition, a good thing that comes out of it is sometimes you can collaborate with the competition. You might be able to interview them, for instance. You might be able to share different things or promote products that they have. So looking at the competition has a lot of values. Don't look at them as something bad. Look at them as something good. There's demand for what you're presenting. So when you study the competition, look at it as something that's healthy, that's positive, that there's a demand for what you're looking for. And the more you study it, find different ways where you could benefit with ideas from them, but also how you could collaborate with them and maybe do a lot more than just that. Now, in addition to that, number 10 is feedback. A lot of us are very worried when it comes to what people might think, or criticisms. All we want is the likes. We don't want that dislike in anything and everything. But the best way to grow my channel is by listening to your feedback. I might think that this video is great, but it's when you're honest with me and go down and put that dislike and put that comment and basically say, well, you know, you didn't do this correctly, or you could have done this better. You might say it in a nice way. You could say it in a very nasty way. But at the end of the day, your feedback is what makes my channel better. So always be open to feedback. Even if you need to send out surveys, don't hesitate to do it, or link a survey and have people share their feedback. But people's feedback is very valuable. This is how you're going to grow. Again, that's your customer base, and it's how you're going to grow your channel and your page. I'm trying to get the maximum number of subscribers, of followed hours, and so on, of viewed hours. So this is why number 11 is very important. Number 11 is what we call search-based content. Search-based content. And why is this important to me? So this is kind of the psychology behind it. 65% of the people that go to YouTube, so most of the people that go to YouTube, 65% of the people that go to YouTube to answer a specific question. You know, I feel some pain on my chest. I'm trying to diet and lose some weight. I'm struggling with algebra and I'm trying to find how I could get this answer to my question. Whatever it is, people usually go on YouTube to answer a specific question. So if I'm trying to get the most number of followers, if I'm trying to get the most hits on my recordings and videos, I need to always think of those. So one of the areas you can think of, suppose you have let's say a cooking channel, for example. Then before I start, I want to find what are frequently asked questions. What kind of meals are people looking at the most? So I can start there. Maybe it's salads, maybe it's steaks, maybe it's Italian food, maybe it's Chinese food, maybe it's Mexican, you know, whatever it is, that will give you a sense of who and how you're going to grow your channel. So remember that people always, 65% of people that go to YouTube, most of the people that go to YouTube go because they're searching a specific question. If I go there and I find you, then more than likely, if I'm impressed with what you do, I might subscribe to your channel and add you. And whenever I'm looking for something, I'll go back and look at it. For example, I've had I had a knee injury. So I went online and looked at different chiropractic advice out there. And then there was one page or one channel that I liked. And they just explained it in a very beautiful way and how I could remedy it at home without having to go see a doctor. And I tried it for a week, and sure enough, I started feeling better. So I subscribed to that channel. I'm regularly going to that channel whenever I feel any kind of joint pain or whatever it is, or injuries after any sports that I play. So if you want to have that, think of the psychology behind it. Search-based content. People always search for a specific question. So find out what the frequently asked questions are and present it in a way that you're answering those questions. Sometimes people, for example, like comparisons, especially in IT, for example. Should we buy this software or this software? We're doing business analytics. Should we go with Power BI or Tableau? So a comparison, this versus this, is another smart way of being able to capture a lot of visits to your channel and to your videos. Now, the channel itself, YouTube itself, wants you to grow. So number 12 is the growth catalyst. What are some of the things that we could do? So as we're going to continue in this series, you're going to find out that there's certain apps within YouTube and other ones that you can add to your channel that can allow you, and they do the YouTube algorithm and the metrics that goes into it, impressions, click rate versus average view duration, for instance. There's different kind of ways to do kind of cross promotions and optimizing your SEOs and basically YouTube analytics. There's a lot of analytical apps that can be added that will get you all the information that you need and help you kind of do your own projections and forecast, and it's really going to help you. So think of that, and we'll learn it together. Some of you might have more knowledge and experience than others, but those are some of the growth catalysts that we're going to have, which is point number 12. And we're going to have other sessions to kind of elaborate more on it, because it's very valuable to have the insights, the algorithms, the comparisons and analytics behind my page or channel. Number 14 is your presentation and your style. You want your channel, you want your videos to stand out visually. And there's a number of things to keep in mind. Number one, kind of know your audience. You know, there are certain times where I'm speaking with an older group or a certain group, you know, within a certain field, that I need to wear a tie and a suit and everything else. There are times when just dress down. It's a different age group and different expectations. So make sure you're dressing appropriately for the audience you're presenting for. Make sure you have a background that is seen professional for what you're presenting. And you know, your tone needs to be very important. Again, sometimes when I'm speaking with professional groups, I need to kind of have that professional tone of presentation. And other times when I'm just talking with other people, I'm just sitting back, laying back and kicking it, having fun with it. So you want to make sure that the way you're exchanging your words with your camera as you're recording reflects towards the audience, that they appreciate kind of your presentation style, the way you dress, the background that you have. Number one. Number two is Now you're done with the video, the editing that goes into the video. Think about it. A lot of times when you go on YouTube and you search a product or you search a channel or a video, you're going to see different videos. Titles are very similar, but one image, you know, the kind of the thumbnail, as we call it, or the style that they have it, whether it's landscape or portrait, or the picture of the person with something chasing them, or them laughing, or the way they look in the video or something, that captures you, that you're going to click on that one first. So it's not just the content. Before the content, everybody's going to look at thumbnails. And if we have the same subject, you and I, and it's the same video, the same material, but you have that thumbnail that looks more exciting than mine, or the image on the YouTube, or the video on that YouTube video, the cover picture or image thumbnail looks better on yours than mine, chances are people are going to click on yours before they click on mine. So it's just the content, how you dress, the background that you have, the material that you're presenting. You want to make sure that your style is appropriate for the audience that's listening to your video. However, the thumbnail is as important as well, and then the tags, because people are going to search, and when they search for certain things, you want that to kind of pop up. And also the kind of the excitement that you put into it, the excitement of the information that you have into it, it would attract people. One of the things that a lot of people do is, usually, especially when you're trying to make money on YouTube, you want people to watch more time. So you kind of leave the last points to be the most exciting points. You kind of push it a little bit more towards the end. So that'd be a good segue to the next thing, is, as I mentioned earlier, how you want to push the important stuff towards the end. So you got people watching most of the video. So kind of exchange number 13 and number 14. So number 14, we went through that first. Now we're going to go back to number 13, which is money, because a lot of people, or the majority of the people on YouTube, are trying to make money. The people trying to create that new channel, trying to make money, new subscribers, how to get more subscribers, how to get more hours to make money. So the question is, how much money do we make on YouTube? And it's going to get a little bit confusing as we do the math, and we're going to have an entire video just on how to make money on YouTube. See, that was a little hint for you to kind of subscribe and go and watch that video. But on a higher level, we want to know that two people having the same amount of content and the same amount of followers could make so much difference in range of how much money they make. Some people would maximize their income by adding certain things. So number one is you want to make sure that you have over 1,000 subscribers to start making money. Haven't watched 4,000 of public hours, and there's a bit of detail there, so we'll elaborate on that on the video specific to how to make money on YouTube. But you want to make sure that you have 4,000 public hours that have been watched within the last 12-month rolling month. That's when you start making the money. That's when you could do what's called monetization. But then there's something called advertising. So advertisement is where you can make more money. Then there is what we call affiliate sales, and that is when you become an affiliate partner with another group. Then there is merchandise. You're going to find a lot of channels, especially with a lot of followers, might be selling, hats and caps and shirts and whatever, and mugs with the name of the company or whatever their trademark is. Then there's crowdfunding. There's different ways where people could actually tip you while you're doing a live feed within YouTube. So you can make money through crowdfunding, especially when people believe in the message that you're sending out and it's that important. Then there's what we call licensing, and that's where you can license the content to the media. Then there's sponsorship, and that is where you can have sponsored contents for brands and so on. You could have ad revenue, and then there's YouTube premium revenue. There's channel memberships. There's super chat payments. So there's different ways to make money. And when you hear the difference, where someone might have so many followers but only makes X amount of dollars versus someone that makes a lot more money, is because that other person has tapped into a lot of those processes. And we're going to elaborate that on a separate video, but for you to know that you can make so much money, not just by putting your video out there, but by doing other things that support it. So especially if you want to try to be a full-time, full-time YouTuber, then those are things that you definitely want to look into. And the final point, the 15th point, is channel and self-promotion. Channel and self-promotion. Promote yourself, promote your channel, promote your videos, and there's different ways to do it. Number one is social media. If you have a website, you want to put that reference, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, always put a link out to your YouTube channel and kind of refer people to it. So that's one way you can always do that. Another way is by asking people to subscribe. A lot of times when you're watching videos, you're going to have a little ding and bell with like, the word subscribe in it. Or you can tell people and remind them at the end, hey, if you like this content, make sure to hit subscribe. And a lot of times you're going to have people also asking for feedback. And that's a smart way because A, you're going to benefit from their feedback, but also you're asking them to get their feedback and to subscribe. And when they subscribe, you've got the subscription you're looking for. In addition to that, if you get feedback, then you also get how you can improve based on that as well. Also, make sure that you're engaging your community. Engaging your community by having that conversation with them, that back and forth, and live feeds and different things that will get people more likely to kind of to share with you. So at the end of this, I'm going to tell you guys to hit like, subscribe, share your feedback, and we're going to also have different videos in each and one of those 15 different topics that we touched on, so that you have that comprehensive look and insight into your future channel. Best of luck. But the most important thing that I want to leave you with is start today. Start today in the sense of, if you have a hobby, again, start today. Because not necessarily you're looking to get the 4,000 hours of viewership or the 1,000 subscribers today, but at least when you start today, you're getting comfortable with it. You're getting to see what people like. You're getting to measure. A lot of the analytical stuff is happening naturally, organically as you start today. So all I'm going to say is have fun. And if you have a daughter or son that wants to be a YouTuber, by all means, start with them, share with them, see how they're growing, and hopefully you find this insight helpful. And like I said, in the next few sessions, we're going to cover each one in a little bit more detail. Hopefully we can grow your channel together to reach that plateau where you can make a lot more money. Have a wonderful rest of time and day.